Good evening, guys. Thank you so much for coming back. If you're new here, I am Erma Mast. I make content, some on Amish related stuff. I grew up Amish. I am also a minimalist. I love healthy eating and lifestyle changes. And so tonight I will be talking about how the Amish, I had a specific question, but kind of what do we do? What do we do when, let me read it to you. What did you do when casually sick or when were terminal illnesses? Were you ever allowed to sleep in when not feeling well? And how has your perception on self-care changed? So I'll break it down a little bit here. Health and illness. What do you do when casually sick? So there are a few things that my family always kept on hand. And I don't remember ever going to the doctor because of being just having a cold or a flu. Like, it would have been necessary, but my mom always kept a few things, some things on hand that I feel were very crucial to keep on hand and were very helpful. I did not keep anything on hand and because I just didn't get sick in the last years until 2020. I believe it was that fall I got COVID, and I decided pretty quickly that it was probably a good idea to keep things on hand because I had people that could go get things for me, but it took like a day or two longer than if I would have had it on hand. I would have started it right away. And someone went to get something right away and the store was closed, so they had to wait till the next day. Having said that, now I always keep some things on hand. I don't get sick much at all, but I feel there's a few things that I always keep on hand. So there's two things I have here. One is Grandpa's balsam. It used to be called lung balsam, and the difference between lung balsam and Grandpa's balsam is one ingredient difference. I don't know where to find the lung balsam anymore. That has one more ingredient, but I keep the Grandpa's balsam on hand. Picked some up on Friday, and always keep that on hand. So what that does is really good for even pneumonia. It is good for a general cough. And if it kind of settles on your lungs or your chest where it's like rough in here, it loosens it up and it calms it down. And even when I had COVID years ago, when I had the whooping cough when I was little, since then, if I do start a cough, like it gets really, like I kind of could go on and on easier. But I feel it's gotten better in the last few years, which is really cool. However, when I had COVID, I coughed a lot. This stuff it just made a difference. I still coughed, some, but it calmed it down. Like it calmed it down in my lungs. And there's a lot of herbal roots and things in it. And it is actually manufactured by Remedies products. I'm not sponsored or anything. They're locally here in Millersburg. And the thing is, I don't know where else to get it besides the local Amish stores. And so it's not as easy to refer to, as Amazon because Amazon doesn't have them. The other thing is Super Tonic. Super Tonic has apple cider, it has vinegar, it has garlic, ginger root, onion, horseradish root, and habanero pepper. It is tasty, not in the best way ever, but it really helps just with the virus or if there's any colds and flus, kind of helping your immune system. There is this too, I don't know where else. I'm not sure I got it at a local Amish store. I do believe there's a company out of Pennsylvania that might have it, that has a catalog. But anyways, I always keep with that on hand now. The other thing is vitamin C. I get the buffer powdered one from Amazon. We always kept some kind of vitamin C. I know over the years we had different brands. There was the emergency C packets we used a lot. And we would always keep vitamin C on hand. When we're sick, take up to 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day until you're better. And even in the winter, it's good to take them consistently, 1,000 milligrams a day, just consistently to help with antioxidants and supporting your adrenals and your system. Vitamin C is really good for your adrenals. And so I always keep that on hand. And a good multivitamin. I like one with methylated folate in it. It's really helps to make it more bioavailable, and it has lots of minerals in it. I'm pretty picky what kind of multi I take because of what is in it and so forth. That I take consistently year round because it also, some of them protect so many things. The one I take, it protects your system. It helps with bones and joints and skin and so forth. So I take mine year round. Wouldn't miss it, miss a day. And then the other thing that I keep on hand, I don't take it regularly, but I do take it, keep it on hand. And when I think I'm getting sick, I had COVID twice. And I, like, right when I didn't have it the first time I had COVID. And then by the second time I heard about this, it's called Immune Plus. And it has different mushroom extracts in it. So it's really a direct immune booster, and it has also the quercetin. I know I'm butchering that. Quercetin, something like that in it. And it's very, very good for your direct immune system boost. And the first time I had it, I had a hard time getting. I could go back to work, but I was still just a little more tired for a few months. And then I've heard of this, I tried it, and that was kind of what was like got my energy and stuff back. And so now the last time I had COVID, I recovered from it a lot easier because I had things on hand. I had the Immune Plus on hand. I had all the other things on hand. I could take it right away when I started, and it helped me get out of it a lot quicker. So highly recommend those things. Zinc is something that's pretty good for a lot of things. It's not necessarily something that I guess it's not a bad thing either, right? Drinking bone broth soups with some vegetables. We would always drink tea. And how do the Amish, what do you do when you catch, I'll get to the terminal illness part, but were you ever allowed to sleep in when not feeling well? And yes, my mom or like my family still does that. I was sick, say I came home from school and I wasn't feeling the best, we could go take a nap. Or if you couldn't go to school because you were sick, totally fine to go take, if you stayed at home, hey, sleep it out, take a hot tub bath with Epsom salt and vinegar and essential oils. Like, do what it takes, get your sleep, get your rest is very important for your body. And take these vitamins, take supplements, and I don't know that I think I mentioned this, we just didn't go to a doctor for colds and flus. Now to like lots and lots of liquids, drinking all the liquids I can handle. I make a thing of hot water and just drinking a lot of hot water, especially if you have a sore throat, because sore throat, the bacteria in your throat can't survive in hot water. So if you keep drinking hot water, that has almost always helped me with if I have a sore throat. Like I said, I just don't rarely get sick anymore since I take supplements on a regular basis. Like, I don't take most of this stuff on a regular basis. I take the multivitamin on a regular basis and the vitamin C pretty consistently because I've had a past of adrenal issues and I'm healing my adrenals still. And so when I get sick, I would take more of that. But it's just key, getting on top of it right away. And foot soaks, we just get a pail of hot water as hot as you can handle. Adding in vinegar, adding in essential oils, adding in garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, like cayenne pepper powder, and I mean a mix or match of any of those. Maybe not all of them at once, but I sure have put on a lot of stuff at once, and it really makes a difference. That is something my mom always recommended that we did. I don't remember ever being like really sick where we thought I would die or where we had to go to the hospital. But I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I know there were some that like put onions on your chest. That can really be good. I don't remember that I had to do that almost ever, but if someone was really sick, that would be something that we could do. And yes, getting your rest. And then what was about in terminal illness? So that is, yes, we went to doctors, like if it was necessary. I almost passed away at one point in my life. I've seen numerous medical doctors in my life. And like say older people or anyone, if they got sick, we could go to the hospital, to the emergency room, to the medical doctor, to specialists, whatever we needed. So yes, we did quite a bit. If there wasn't terminal illness where someone almost didn't get better, there was always the medical doctor that we went to as well when we needed it. Hospice care, we did have occasionally where there were people that had hospice care if needed. We were actually, when my grandfather passed away, I would say in general, we did not go to the nursing home quickly. Like older people almost never went to the nursing home unless they just did not have someone to take care of them. Most of the time, we took care of our older people. So when my grandfather had, he had a heart attack years ago, and then he got better, and then it was, back and forth, and then before he passed away, they shocked his heart over and over, and it would just keep getting out of rhythm, and it got to the point where, like, all of my parents, like my mom, it's my mom's dad, and all of my mom and my dad would take off work once a week and stay there for 24 hours because it took my dad to help him as well, as far as helping him around. And all the kids, so took turns being there 24 hours every week. And I think that lasted for, I don't want to even say, was it maybe a few weeks? And then he had to go to the hospital again. And then they decided if he does make it till he comes home, they're going to have to get hospice care. Because it was just getting too much for the kids to be there. Like my dad had to take off work one day every week and be there 24/7. Get a taxi to go was a distance, and it just got too much for the family, and it ended up he never made it home. He passed away before he didn't come home again. So, but that does happen. If some hospice care, that does happen, and that's totally okay if someone needs that. I'm trying to think of there's other illnesses like surgeries. If someone has a gallbladder issue or say a pancreas, I want to say burst, or like my brother had one, just extreme pain in his stomach, or it ended up being his pancreas. It would be pancreatitis. But he had so much pain, he ended up going to the emergency room. They did surgery, took it out. We totally did that. But I would say we didn't go to the hospital or to the doctor nearly as quickly. I think for one, we did not have insurance. And so it wasn't just every time you go, everything's covered by insurance. You were paying out of pocket a lot of the time. If you had a lot of excessive medical bills, they have their own insurance. It's called Amish Helping Fund that you could get help with after a certain amount. But in general, you paid a lot out of pocket, and we just didn't, I never took antibiotics because of being sick. I guess we learned how to do it. I think the Amish are more think that way, and they just gets passed down. There's a How to Be Your Own Doctor book by Rachel Weaver. I actually wrote it down for my Christmas this past Christmas, and I received it for a Christmas gift. And it has a lot of just tips in herbs and how to use things, and like charcoal, a lot of different things you can use with charcoal. That is something I keep on hand for if I would get a stomach flu. I think I used it once, and I'm thinking it's maybe outdated, who knows. And that was the reason I didn't keep more things on hand for a long time, because I really almost never get sick, and so things get outdated, and I'm like, why do I want to keep things on hand if it's going to get outdated and old? Then I have to buy new ones, right? But after I had COVID the first time, there's a few things I keep on hand. So my parents also had that book, How to Be Your Own Doctor, and it has like salves, and anymore in the Amish stores, there's so many like natural things that you can use, herbs and things to heal. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Let me read the question to make sure. What did you do when casually sick? When there were terminal illness? Were you ever allowed to sleep in and feeling well? Oh, how has your perception on self-care changed. So I would, yes, it has changed. I don't know if it, I feel it has maybe more to do with my health journey than actually leaving the Amish, but maybe both. I don't know. I guess I feel healthcare or self-care, sorry. We didn't know what self-care, I learned self-care as far as washing your face every day, brushing your teeth, taking a shower every day, keeping your hair clean, basic things like that. When it comes to my mental health, say self-care, like for my mental health, protecting my mental health, and I had no idea what that looked like. And I learned how to do it now, but not from the Amish, not from my family. It's through counseling and mentoring and training. And I guess I'm trying to put it together, my perception. I feel I see the importance due to my health issues. I had 10 years of going downhill and major issues. I care a lot more about my body. I don't take my energy for granted. I don't take the strength that I have for granted. And so, for instance, sleep. I would have a lot more late nights. We would work late, and nothing wrong with working hard and working late, but it could come into a thing, well, I had work to do, so it got late. Now I look at it as, what's the priority? And I have late nights sometimes, okay? Trust me. I had a late night 2 nights ago. I was helping in a benefit action. It got late. Not a big deal, but I planned it because I knew it's going to be late and that's going to be okay. But also, I was intentional that I got back to bed early last night. So I think now I think about it differently. I'm thinking, okay, if I have a late night, like, I prioritize my sleep, that I get enough sleep, and then I'm good to go. And instead of making my work, well, so-and-so kept me out later, so-and-so. Like, no, I take more responsibility for my health than I used to. I prioritize it way, way, way more. And drinking more water, like, I'm intentional because I know if I drink more water, I feel better. And I feel we would have said some of those things are important, but I actually didn't do it always. And then I feel there's a lot more. I'm now in an environment where I'm way more relaxed. My mental health is way, way better than it used to, thanks to a lot of different things. And so I would say I plan girls' day. I plan a walk. I plan a time to journal. I plan a time with God every day. Like, some of those I did, but now, like, those things are my priority, and nothing is going to get in the way of having that, if that makes sense. Instead of, it would be easy to say, well, I don't have time, or I didn't really know what it meant. I could make a whole video on mental health. I think that's what I need to do. I'm getting passionate. And I'm thinking about all these things that I can say. But how my perception of self-care changed, I would say it has changed a lot over the years. I am very, very passionate about self-care. And I think that's all I'm going to say. There's so many rabbit trails that my brain wants to go to. So that is it for this one. I will make a note of it. I'll make it one for mental health video by itself. And but that is some of the things I keep on hand. Love it and wouldn't do without it. And we shall see you in the next one. We'll catch you later. Bye.